head over to Santa Fe Steakhouse and get something to eat. But Ashley wants to hear her bike start. She hasn't even heard it, or she didn't pay attention, I guess, when they took it out. So we'll start it here for her. It's so quiet you can't even hear it. I'm thinking she might want to get a slip-on. Oh, Jesus. All right. Well, it's definitely not the CB500, I'll tell you that right now. The brake lever needs adjusted for me. I don't like the way it's so close in. Clutch maybe too. Boy, the thing is tiny. And light? Oh my gosh, is it agile and nimble. It's like riding a little mini bike. Should we? No. Not my bike. Holy cow. Oh man, this is a fun little bike. Oh, there the brakes are a little better. I suppose new bike, they got to brake in just like everything else. Man, she scoots right along. I mean, it's not a power monster. It's not going to do any power wheelies or anything, but I mean, she's doing 50 and 4th right now, just cruising along. Not a problem at all. Man, I'm pretty impressed, actually. That's pretty cool. And the dash is basically exactly like my CB. A little darker. We'll have to see if we can lighten it up or something. But still want to just one more click, I think. Yeah, that's better. Well, so I didn't really say, I mean, obviously this is a continuation of Ashley's picking up her new bike video. I'm going to make this separate though, because it's kind of a review on the bike. And I'll take it out into a couple little twisties before I take it home. But just first initial impression, just going a few blocks in town here, man, it's an agile, super light little bike. Not a super powerhouse. I mean, it's only a 500cc, but it's it'll do anything that Ashley's going to want to do with it. I mean, we'll see what happens when I get it on the highway as far as what kind of power it has there. But in town, I mean, just getting around town, it's fine. No problems at all. The front brake's just not quite as good as what I'm used to, but then my bikes are a lot more, what would you say, aggressive, sport, more higher end, and that's kind of what I'm used to, are those kind of brakes. So, be a little different than than this, obviously. And they might need broke in still. Like I said, it's brand new. It had 0.6 miles on it or whatever when we got it. So, and I'm sure that's just pushing it around the showroom floor. This bike is a 2021 CB500F Honda. Parallel twin, 50 horsepower. I think it's 419 pounds wet or something like that. So, pretty light. And it feels lighter than that. I mean, it feels just absolutely weightless almost. I think Ashley's going to enjoy it a lot more than the VFR. I mean, she was getting okay on the VFR, but like I said, it even got a little bit too far over and she couldn't catch it. It was just too heavy and too top heavy too. And that thing, when she dropped it the first time is when I realized maybe it wasn't a good one for her because of how heavy it was picking it back up. I mean, that thing was almost impossible to pick up because it was so top heavy. So this is going to be way better for her. And it's nice colors. I'm going to probably do some pinstripe on it or something, just to dress it up for her a little bit. She might want a little pink on it, she said, or something. We'll see. I don't know, though. It looks pretty good. Maybe we'll wait and see if she does tip it over and scratch it or anything. But like I said, she doesn't want to ride it until we get frame sliders and stuff like that. So if she does tip it over, it's not going to actually hit the fairings and stuff like that. Still might break a lever or something, but it'll at least protect the main bodywork a little bit. So, talk about driving in town. This is another reason why I'm riding it, because she's never really ridden in town like this with all this traffic. And I don't really care to ride in town with all this traffic either, unless I have to, which I have to today. And it doesn't bother me per se as far as myself, but I'm always a little nervous about getting rear-ended or something. And anyway, you'll notice I'll always usually pull kind of to the middle of the lane, hoping that if somebody does come up, they'll miss me and hit the car that is ahead of me or whatever, you know. But I would lane filter, but Broken Arrow, the cops are pretty stringent here. Not sure if they'd nail me or not if they saw me do it. I got pulled over here the other day on my bike because I didn't have the license plate on the back of it yet. Still don't, waiting for my tail tidy license plate bracket to get here for it. I took the original big ugly bracket that goes behind the tire off already. So that's supposed to be here today. Hopefully it's there when I get home and I can put it on. But anyway, other than that, back to this bike. I mean, it's plenty powerful. And I mean, it's not even broke in. So I mean, it should get a little more powerful as it breaks in too. A little better gas mileage. My bike's doing that I just got. You can tell the gas mileage has been steadily going up and up as it breaks in. So that's pretty cool. But this bike, I mean, for Ashley's going to be more than enough. I mean, I'm in 4th gear, and it's still, you get on it, and I mean, it goes. It's not crazy, but it goes. So, yeah, I can feel the brakes are still breaking in, so. Her dash is a little different. All the selections and settings and stuff are on the dash, so, because she doesn't have any rider modes or anything. All right, we're here to eat. Guys, turned you back on the way home here after eating. ate at Santa Fe Steakhouse. Pretty good food. Terrible server. Obviously beginner, but they knocked some off our price, so that was okay. Anyway, so far, just going down the road here. This guy's pretty slow in the trailer ahead of us. I was doing like 55, 60 back there, and this thing does it no problem. I'm going to leave you on until I get up to the highway here where the speed limit's 70 and see how she does there. Like I said before, man, she's light and agile and nimble. Feeling anyway. I don't know if it's really any lighter than any of the other bikes in its class, but man, it feels crazy. And it definitely feels Honda value. I mean, quality too. I mean, there's no little weird vibrations or shakes or rattles or clunks or anything in the transmission. Nothing. Everything's butter smooth. Nice looking bike. Just really solid. I mean, we'll find out more once we get it through the break-in period and stuff. But right now, I mean, she seems like a rock solid bike, and it's going to be so perfect for Ashley. I mean, the first time she sat on it when we were looking at it, oh, we need to lower it right away, because she can only touch on her tiptoes. And I showed her that's how I touch on my new CB too, because mine's taller than this one, obviously. And I said, but it's so light and agile and nimble, you can catch it. So then she started leaning it back and forth, and she was like, oh yeah, I can hold this up even when it tips way over. And I'm like, exactly. So she's pretty excited about that, but she still doesn't want to ride it until we get the frame sliders on there, which I don't blame her. I mean, it's a brand new bike. She's going to be really upset the first time. If she drops it, she's going to be really upset. So hopefully if we have frame sliders on, all it does is breaks a lever and maybe scuffs up the end of the handlebar or something. But you know, it all depends on how she goes down too. If she just drops it, yeah, it'll be fine. If she crashes it, frame sliders don't even help you then usually if you hit the grass or whatever. So anyway, let's see what kind of passing power this thing's got. I mean, that's actually not bad. I mean, I weigh 230 pounds. And I mean, it got around that car no problems. I mean, it's going down the highway just fine. I mean, once she gets on here, I mean, she's maybe not quite half my weight, but she's a lot lighter than I am. I mean, it'll be great for her. I mean, you can just see right here, it's holding 58 to 60 miles an hour, no problem. I mean, it's not struggling at all. So that's pretty cool. Man, there's a stray dog. Nice looking black shepherd, it looks like. Everywhere down here. Everywhere down here. One of the things that really irritates me about Oklahoma, it just seems like there's so many strays, so many dogs dropped off. Just people don't care for them down here like other places that I've been around the country. But anyway, I've been to places that are worse than here too. So it's a sad deal. But enough about dogs. Like I said, the bike is it's holding 60, no problem, and smooth. I mean, there's no vibration in it whatsoever. I mean, a lot of times smaller bikes, you know, you get them up 60, 70 miles an hour on the highway, they vibrate. This thing's glass smooth. I mean, it's just as smooth as my 1000 is. Definitely need a windshield though. It's only, well, when we left home it was 46. I don't know how much it's warmed up or if it has warmed up, but it's chilly. And I'm feeling it here, sitting up straight up like this with no windshield or anything. So she actually ordered a windshield and the frame sliders, and I'm going to look and see if I can find her a tail tidy too. She doesn't like the big ugly tail on it, which I don't blame her, I don't either. So we'll probably get all that stuff on here, and that's probably all she'll do to it. Maybe exhaust. She kind of laughed about how quiet it was, because you can't hear it at all. I mean, it's just dead quiet. So we might put a slip-on it, some sort. But other than that, she's just going to ride it and enjoy it, and I think she's really going to enjoy it. I mean, she enjoyed her VFR, but then it would make her mad, and she'd hate it whenever she'd drop it. So this bike, I don't think she's going to drop, and even if she does, I think she can pick it up herself. So it won't be so bad. but we'll get around this corner up here. It's kind of a nice corner. I'm not going to take her out to a twisties because it is pretty chilly and I'm not really dressed for it. So this will be my test on going around a twisty, just going around this corner up here. It's kind of a on-ramp type deal, so I can actually take it like a twisty. Unless I get traffic in my way that's not going to allow me to do it. But I don't know, we'll see. Maybe I'll take it over there, but I might stop at home and grab a little bit warmer clothes. Thought it was supposed to warm up almost to 70 today, even though it was cool this morning, but it sure doesn't feel like it's warming up. So we got a couple cars that are turning. So that's gonna, and these guys, that's not even a turn lane. So they're just all like being stupid. And I'm not, then they don't realize that it's just an on lane. What are you doing, people? She gets up and goes pretty good. I mean, it's not like a super speed demon, but she'll do 100 pretty easily. So that's more than fast enough, especially for Ashley. I mean, she's not going to go out to Hallett and set any land speed records with it, but it's a nice, solid little bike. I'm impressed. All right, I'm going to shut the camera off again. I might actually run it to the twisties. Just a little road that's close to home that I can just take it up and down a couple times, up and back. It looks like the sun might be trying to come out, and that's probably when they're saying it's going to get warmer, so hopefully it gets out by the time I get out there. I turned you guys back on for the last mile or two on the highway here, so you can see things doing 75 to 80 without even blinking an eye. I mean, and it's butter smooth. I mean, it's smooth as glass. There's no weird vibrations or harmonics in the handlebars. It's pretty impressive, actually, for a little 500cc sport naked, or whatever you want to call it. I mean, it's a little beginner bike. But, I mean, it's not even missing a beat, just purring along. And I mean, it even has some power, like if you need to pass somebody. I mean, it's not going to break your neck, but she picks up speed, you know. And I mean, you could downshift to fifth if you had to. I mean, she's just running 5,800, 6,000 RPMs, right around 75, basically. I did ride it out here. We'll hit a little bit of twisties, nothing serious, just a road that's pretty close to home. So like I said, I'm not dressed for this weather. And hopefully I don't hit any rain before I get back home, because I'm really not dressed for that. It's chilly, but I'm only a few miles from home here, so even if it did, it wouldn't be too bad. We'll be hitting the twisties here, and I'm just gonna kind of get my feelings on how it handles there, kind of so I can tell Ashley too, because you know she's a little nervous about riding it. Different bike, you know. The only bike she's ever ridden is the VFR, and then the Harley that she took her MSF on. So, but I mean, she just purrs along about 59, 6,000, 75 to 80. I mean, I wouldn't be afraid to ride this thing across the country the way it feels. It's comfortable. Maybe add a little padding to the seat. I've done 40 miles now solid, and I can feel it in my butt, but it's not bad. I mean, it's a small seat for how big a guy I am. You know, I'm 6 feet 230, so I mean, the bike really isn't designed for a guy my size. It's designed for a beginner, younger person probably, or a girl. But the thing is, if this is the only bike I had, I'd have a blast on it. I can tell you that right now. I mean, my size, I'd have a blast on this bike anyway. I mean, it'd be awesome to find a used one and just use it like a Grom, basically. You know, all these guys have those little Groms, but it's almost too little. This would be more my style for that, I think. We'll run the twisty here. Of course, I'm behind a car. I'll probably catch them and won't be able to do what I want to do, but we'll turn around and come back the same way, so see what's happening here. It's so light and flickable that, man, I mean, I'm not even hardly leaning or anything. I mean, it's, oh shit. Well, that's a good one. The brakes work. Better than I thought they would when I first hit them. I goofed around about wrecking Ashley's bike for her before I even got it home and damn near did it. Anyway. So going around the curve here, I mean, it's a 40-mile-an-hour curve and we're doing 55, and I mean, it's rock solid. It's almost so light and flickable that you want to flick it in and too much. Alright, well that was fun. We'll turn around and go back. Because that's really, I mean, there's a couple twisties up a little further, but we won't worry about them. Turn around and head back to the house and give my final thoughts, basically. You could do a wheelie on it if you wanted. Might be easier to clutch it up, but the front end actually popped a little bit there. I think if you actually tried, you could get it up. Yeah, she handles good. Ashley's gonna love this bike. Good thing I didn't wreck it for her. That would have been my fault. I don't know if I was looking off to the side when they hit their brakes or what happened there, but just all of a sudden I noticed they hit their brakes and that was that. And I think I thought they were just gonna slow down for the curve too, is probably what I was thinking, not actually grenade their brakes to make a left-hand turn. But that's a prime example of pay attention, hyper aware, even when you think you don't need to be, like right there. Gotta pay attention and be hyper aware. So we're going back to the beginner talk again here, but man, you just can't, doesn't matter how long you've been riding. That could have got me. I mean, it was close. So, I mean, it wasn't as, like, I didn't almost hit them, but it was close. I mean, I had to hit the brakes a lot harder than I wanted to. I don't know why these people, I mean, it's like, oh, let's hit the brakes. Why? What's going on there? get her back up to speed, and I'll shut you off, and I'll do my final thoughts when I get home. As you can see, she has no problem getting up to highway speed on the on-ramp, whatever you want to call it. Man, they need to do something about the road right here. This is rough. Whole size of it. Oh, man. Boom, right there. Must be a different county, right? Anyway, so that's it for the ride. See, she gets up speed, goes speed, no problem. No weird vibrations, nothing. Rock solid little bike. Pretty impressed with it. It feels good. I'd suggest it. I mean, anybody that's thinking of buying one, you're not going to be disappointed. And it's fast enough that you'll never outgrow it, really. I mean, yeah, you might want to go faster or whatever, but it'll be able to do anything that you need it to do. It might not do everything that you want it to do. You're not going to go to the track and hit 120, 30 miles an hour in the straightaway, but you'll get over 100, you know. So, yeah, good little bike. Alright guys, final thoughts on the CB500. Perfect beginner bike. I don't know if you could find a better one. I mean, everyone's all about the Ninja 400, stuff like that, but that's a full-fared bike. You drop it, it's going to cost a lot of money. This bike's a naked bike. I mean, it'll go down the highway, no problem. You can crush a ton of miles. I mean, great all-around bike. I mean, I don't care who you are. It'd be a great bike, especially for commuting around town. So, and you can't beat Honda reliability. But girl bike, beginner bike, light, nimble, pretty short seat height. Great bike. I mean, we'll do more reviews with Ashley once she rides it, and like once we get some miles on it. But I mean, first impression, pretty impressed. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Adopt, don't shop.